Pudge, what time is it?
It's time for the Chubby Guys podcast.
Woo! All right, hey, we're back, part 2. Good to see you again. All right. So we're here having a great discussion with Joe Finch, and we've in part 1 we went all things education, 42 years of experience in it, and I don't know how many years you have in it, Matt.
Oh, on paper, just 8 now. With the actual life.
Hey, do you want to help develop your child's athletic ability? Or maybe you want to get off the couch and make yourself a little bit better? They earn the day at AP Prep. Look them up, apprep.info. Hey, are you a business owner looking for insurance coverage? Give this guy a call. You know him. You trust him. Jason Gillum, Gillum Insurance, 740-395-0190.
License, but I was at the alternative school for 12, so
Yeah,
getting on 20.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at 62 years combined experience. Hey, that was a pretty good conversation. But now, man, let's get into some fun stuff. Joe, as long as I've known you, you have always been... I don't want to say a fitness nut, or
Kind of, yeah.
And I mean, I remember as a young guy coming out, you were always lifting weights. Saturday mornings in your garage out
in
there.
The garage, yeah. The only thing I like better than fitness is food.
Yeah, well, then you got a good combination.
That's the problem right there. Therein lies the whole problem right there.
But you at some point picked up cycling.
Yes.
And that stuck with you, correct?
Yes. I rode bikes when I was a little kid a lot.
Right.
That was back in the day where you just took off, and when you were just 5 years old,
yeah,
come back at dark and you just ride around the neighborhood on a bike. And I would ride to Annie's.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Because I lived on Dave Avenue. I'd go down that alley. I mean, really little. I would go down to Annie's. And of course, then we got in the car and she'd let me drive.
Oh, well, yeah. It's like, why are we riding these bikes when Annie let us drive? Annie was our great aunt.
Yeah.
His father,
my
and my
aunt,
grandfather's, and my grandmother's sister. She was a one of a kind.
Oh, yeah.
Single. Yeah. Her whole life, her life was the grandkids and the nieces and nephews. Yeah. I mean,
we take a ride every evening, and I still say that got in my blood from Annie taking me in a ride in the car every evening.
Yeah,
so we did.
Yeah,
and then at some point she would let you drive.
Normally, she'd start you off at a parking lot.
Well, you had to be out of diapers. That was the rule. You had to be out of diapers. And
did you get to go too?
Oh yeah.
Are you
absolutely?
Oh
yeah. Oh yeah. She would be like, "Well, okay, you might as well drive."
Yeah.
I remember the first time she said that, I was thinking, hey, all those stories are true.
As I always say, it was back before things were dangerous.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
they didn't have seatbelts. We didn't have anything. She just let you we'd go through town, and there you'd be.
Well, and
staring at thing on her lap.
And what's funny, one of my best memories of your dad, man. I struggled when I first started elementary school. I didn't want to go. Did not want to go, man. I mean, I'd be kicking and screaming. Well, his dad, who was the superintendent of schools, he would just come around occasionally. He'd come over by and he would be like, hey, just come with me, Chad. And he would just take me a ride. We might stop at a couple other school buildings or something. We'd take a little ride. He'd be like, well, you ready to go back now? And I'd be like, yeah, so he'd take me back, put me back in class.
That's awesome.
Instead of buttering you up there, buddy.
But he was always so calm though. You know,
oh yeah.
He was like, hey, just relax. You're all right. Come on, let's take a ride. Let's take a ride.
That's so awesome.
But anyway, I always liked bikes. Worked on them, did stuff, messed with them, and so forth. And then I grew up in the banana bike era,
right?
With the big ape hangers. I always wanted a Schwinn Stingray. I had a knockoff.
Oh, okay.
I always wanted the real thing, Stingray. And matter of fact, I've looked at those as an adult.
Thought about getting one.
Thought about getting one.
Yeah.
And
I'll look forward to seeing Jack come running down.
Right.
Down the road.
From there, just kind of. I went through the horrible go-kart and mini-bike years, middle school. And just ridiculous, instead of I actually sawed the front of my banana bike off and had a local guy weld the back end of an old mini bike to the,
Oh my goodness!
And they had a bicycle wheel in the front and a little mini bike wheel in the back, and it had an old rototiller engine I'd gotten from somebody. And I rode that thing around Redondo Drive. I rode that, you know. And it's always funny. My parents never would buy me a mini bike. I said they're too dangerous.
So you built one.
I built one that you had to wreck it to stop it.
Yeah.
And they said, too dangerous. We're not buying you one of those. And I'd have friends come over and they'd go, how do you stop? And I'd go pick out a soft spot and
follow later
But anyway, got through, survived that. And then at some point I ran track as a senior.
Yeah.
And I got what I called Finch splints. It was worse than shin splints. I mean, it was. I went to the doctor and he said, "You are done.
Okay,
you cannot run anymore."
Okay,
and so I said, "Well, you know, I'm hearing about this stuff's good for you, you know."
Yeah, right,
then.
right.
And he said, "Well, ride a bike." The doctor, and so I had an old bike, and it just, you know, it was a jalopy, and I finally bought one. We went to Chillicothe because I'd heard they had a bike shop there, and I found a bike. I was like $200 back in I was out of college, just started teaching, 79. And that thing I rode for years. I rode several 100-mile rides on that thing.
Wow.
And kind of got into the road cycling.
Okay.
And they hadn't invented mountain bikes yet. We go out and do like the Columbus to Portsmouth thing.
Oh,
you train for that. The road cycling, which I still do some of now. And you got to, you know, to stay in shape. I do that. And when the ground's wet, you can't ride mountain bikes.
Yeah. Well, did you guys did you have like a group of friends that were doing that too, that you started riding with?
Yes, there was a group in our area here. And then shout out to Tony Thorne. I still ride with Tony.
Yeah,
we were some of the early road riders here, and then as bikes evolved, you know, we came into mountain bikes there in the mid to late '80s, and then my buddy Thad Haynes kind of got a decent mountain bike. There would have been about the mid '90s.
Okay,
and I had one that was somewhat usable, and we started actually riding the trails then. Okay.
Was that early on in the trail riding?
That was early on, and Thad he taught at Chillicothe High School. Okay. So he got with the original Chillicothe with Jubal Davis.
Jubal's been a guest on the show.
Just north of Daytona crew.
Yeah.
It was up there. They had the shop, and he would, after school, he would do rides with them.
Okay.
And so I followed his lines and learned how to mountain bike. And I'm not very good at it, but
man, it looks scary to me.
It can be, and that's the only bad part. You know, I'm 65 and I've broken 2 bones. It can be hard on you. And so I've slowed down a little bit, but I haven't, the frequency I've kept up. I mean, I almost ride in the summer like this, a mountain bike every day.
Yeah. But what you don't do is you're not taking a lot of chances.
I don't go off the ramps and the jumps and stuff.
just
ride the trails as they come. And then I do I still do road riding. Like this past Saturday, we went down to Shawnee State Forest. There's a group called Portsmouth Connects that put a ride on down there, a really good ride. And they put a gravel ride on that we did. And we have special bikes just for gravel now.
Okay.
And that's like a whole new sport. And you don't have to ride where all the cars are. We saw maybe one car in 3.5 hours.
Wow. Do those bikes look more like road bikes with wider tires?
Yes,
or what?
That's a good description right there. It's a road bike with fatter gravel tires.
Okay.
And you know, they're okay on pavement. They're not ideal, but they get you by where they shine is on gravel.
Okay.
And that's kind of a worldwide thing right now, because it opens up so many. We go up to Cited Trail State Forest.
Oh, yeah.
There's forest miles and miles. That's a good thing to do when the trails are wet and you can't go off road, which happens here a lot with the rain.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
So you do this every day?
Pretty much.
How many miles do you get in it?
I never keep track of miles more so than time. Now, my daily rides through the week, you know, hour or so. Weekends, you stretch it out if you get some people together and, stretch it out a little farther on the weekends. To me, it's all about fitness. And there's events. Like last Saturday, I did 3 hours and 30-some minutes, which that's unusually long for me. But the training I've done before got me through that.
Right. Right.
And it was tough. That would be right at the edge of my fitness right there.
Okay. You don't want to go much longer than
I'd like to be able to, if I could build up to it now. Again, I'm fighting age and 2 back surgeries.
Well, but now there was a time when you were riding competitively like that, weren't you? Where you'd train a little bit.
I would enter events. I wouldn't say I was competitive.
Okay. But you were finishing the events.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes. I'll never, try to race again or anything like that. It's all about fun and fitness for me.
Okay.
I'm pretty dedicated to it, and I've got some nice equipment. It's very equipment intensive because you just wear stuff out.
Boy, it is.
It just
and does it make a big difference what you're riding on?
A professional cyclist could jump on a Walmart bike and ride circles around me.
Okay.
I don't know whether that answers that or not, but I go for durability is what I go for because I'm hard on stuff, and it just I have to have multiple bikes just so one will be working at the time because they wear out and easy. They're so lightweight.
Do you work on your own?
Basic stuff, tires, oil this, basic things. More complicated stuff, take it up to Jubal.
Okay.
For a bike rebuild, which I think I just did. I don't have that wall of tools.
Okay, that they do.
Just basic things. Yeah. I like to ride. I don't really enjoy fixing them. I just want to get out in nature. And
how many bikes do you have?
Let's see. Well, what you need is. N plus one, N being the number of bikes you have.
Yeah.
Plus one. That's what. You.
So you're always wanting one.
Yeah. I'd say I have half dozen probably.
Okay.
Yeah, right. And it's always changing.
Yeah. But you've got to set up for almost any terrain, probably.
Yes. There's yes.
Definitely. Is there ever a reason to ride a bike that's like not geared? Like
yes. That's my favorite bike.
Oh, really? So you do have a bike with...
It's called a single speed.
Okay.
And I ride that on the road to train. It's a blast. It sounds like it would be impossible, but it's actually a pretty high-end bike. And a lot of the hills around here, you can get up and you learn to use momentum. It teaches you to not bleed off speed and attack the hills. And it's one of the most fun bikes I've ever had is a single speed.
Oh, so you ride it a lot then?
Oh, that's the one, like if I can't ride the trails and I'm just going to do a fitness ride, that's what I want every time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. And there, we joke with single speeds, there's 3 speeds, sit, stand, and walk.
Yeah.
But around here, if you choose your roads correctly, we're really lucky. This area's got so many great back roads and stuff, so I know which ones to ride on that.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we live in an area that's probably great for cycling, isn't it?
Cycling and hiking, which is another. Yeah. In the winter, I love to hike when you don't have to deal with snakes and bugs and poison ivy and stuff.
Right.
Dennis Reinhardt and I go out and we explore a lot of wilds around here and find a lot of cool
I'll tell
things.
you, the pictures that Dennis posts, I mean, we had him on here too, and he was talking about that. Now, do you get the same fitness level or cardio out of hiking?
You can. When you're in the backcountry around here, and you're going up and down the hills, it is very strenuous, strenuous. Yes. Yes, they're very specific in their fitness, but if you're looking at just health, you get every bit out of hiking as you do as you do cycling. Absolutely. And
now, do you guys ride in the winter?
Oh yes,
you do. That's what I thought. Like you got winter gear, and
we got full winter gear,
snow bike, the snow tires.
I have that. Now that's one of the things, a concession to age, though, that you can go down. You'll be on your butt so quick in the snow, even on a snow bike. I kind of shied away from that this past winter again. I've had 2 back surgeries.
Don't want a third.
Yeah. And but generally just cold weather is not a problem at all. Some of the best bike rides I've ever done were in below 30 degrees.
And you trail ride on those too?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, sure, sure. There's a time there in the winter when the ground freezes.
Right.
Now that we call that moose crunch because it's very hard to get through, but it's not
is
mud.
there patches of ice in that? I mean,
Not usually on the trails. On the road, you have to watch. So I've learned where to go and where those patches are, and watch for. In the winter, you got to watch for shade because that's where the ice lingers, and black ice, where there's shady places. So you got to kind of learn to. And there's some days I just don't go out. If it's 10 degrees and tomorrow's going to be 25, I just go to the gym that day.
yeah, wait till tomorrow.
You don't have like a stationary, like a Peloton or anything like that at home?
That's a funny thing. I spent a
I was
bunch
going
of
to ask
money.
him about the Peloton.
Well, not a Peloton, but I spent a bunch of money on a simulator where you put your road bike on it, and it comes on the TV screen, and you can actually compete with other people online. And a very, very serious. Some people do their entire bicycle training on those now. They didn't go outside,
simulators.
and I hated it. I couldn't even in front of a had a
Just
room.
didn't feel the same.
It just could. I hated that thing. And I did it like 3 times. It was exhausting. I mean, I had great workouts, but I could not do an indoor trainer. I just couldn't do it. So I go out. I'd rather pile on the clothes and do a quick ride outside than do the indoor trainer.
You guys have been doing it around here for so long. Do you stick to pretty much the same places so that you're familiar with
We
them?
do. We tend to. We have names for them that only a few of us would even understand what the name means. It may have been a person that lived at one time on the road. We have the Walmart ride, which just happens to cut through the Walmart parking lot. You're at Walmart for 20 seconds, but the whole ride is called the Walmart ride. And we say those so seriously. If someone heard us, they'd think, "What are they?"
What are they talking
about? I didn't did they go in Walmart and ride around. We have so many rides like that.
Well, are you that way on the trails too? Do you like to try new stuff? Because I would think that would be where it gets a little dicey.
It is. We have the Gatewood Trail system down at Rye Green is where we call that our home field.
Isn't that on Bob Evans' property?
It's actually on University of Rye Green property now because it went back to the college. It started out the college. They sold it to the Bob Evans farm when they created that. Then it went back to the college, and so the college owns it.
Okay,
and we ride there. That's our home field. Nice, beautiful trail system.
And it's never going to throw you for a loop because you know it.
We know where to go there. You can pick hills. You can pick whatever you want there. Mm-hmm. Now we do go out to other places too, and that's probably like now in the summer here. We're going to start. Do
you ever go to Great Seal in Chillicothe?
Great Seal is the real
Jubal
deal.
And all those guys.
Great Seal is the real deal. It's probably one of the best places in Ohio to ride.
Really?
Yes, it's extreme.
Really?
It's extreme. It's you're either going up a hill or down a hill. Great Seal. There's very little rolling terrain there.
So you're standing up a lot there. I mean,
but it is awesome. They have a group that maintains it and so forth. It's a much bigger area than Bob Evans.
Yeah, and it's bumping every day, every weekend. People are coming from miles to ride.
Columbus, a lot of the Central Ohio people come down, short drive, and but it's a serious place. It's right on the edge of my abilities. A lot.
Like you get
it's the edge of my fitness too.
It's about where you can get hurt seriously if you don't know what you're doing.
You can, and again, they've added so many new trails that some of them kind of scare me because I'm not used to them.
Yeah.
Down at Rio.
What about like Scioto trails down there in Portsmouth?
That's Shawnee.
Or Shawnee
in Portsmouth. They have SOMBA Samba has a group down there that has some trails. I rode down there one time, but we primarily ride their gravel down there because that's
where is that gravel?
Well, you head out 52 by Portsmouth West High School.
Okay.
Then you come to State Route 125 and you hang a right there. It's called Friendship, Ohio. It's just a few miles down the road.
What you're talking about.
And then maybe about 5 miles back, 125, you come to Shawnee Forest and State Park, and then there are gravel roads that go every direction. Like I said, we rode 3.5 hours. It maybe saw 1 or 2 cars, and that was it.
Now, Scioto County, boy, that's no place to be. I'd get a little nervous. Like, I got a little too deep out in those those gravel roads.
Yeah.
Matt's a Shawnee State guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's some interesting times.
Yes. We've never had an issue, never seen Bigfoot.
Good.
We've seen some hollows back there that were sketchy. you know, when you see those trailers that are kind
Folks
of blown up,
squatting,
and stuff, you know. But you know, generally speaking, around here, the only problem you have is just stupid dogs. And I don't. They're not mean dogs.
And they're good for the intensity. I bet,
Yeah,
on that
that's
work.
true.
They're probably
But
picking
they're
up a little
just,
bit.
you know, like, oh, look at that guy. I want to be there. I want to run. I want to. Oh,
Hey,
maybe
what do you do? I mean,
Mace
do you
them?
keep
Oh,
mace?
no, I did that once and sprayed myself, much to the dog's entertainment.
Take a few milk bones with you or
You're
something.
going down the
The
road.
way you can forget about the wind.
Yeah.
You gotta, you've seen those memes where someone's calculating all that algebra and stuff. Yeah. And, you know, I'll show you. The dog's just like, what's wrong with that guy? We were running here. What happened to you?
Yeah, we were playing a game.
Yeah, but you got to watch. So they'll get in your front wheel. They don't mean to be run over.
No.
I have only had one bite my heel, and I think he was just overcome with trying to run and spin his head like that. But it wasn't mean, but he did bite the shoe. But you got to watch. Is there a hazard as far as getting in the way? That's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
I've seen people.
And it's probably not a good idea to stop.
Well, actually, I did that finally once. Some big dog, like a Doberman, had chased us, and I just said, "This is the day I'm going to stop," and he didn't know what to do. He just sat.
Confused him.
Totally short-circuited his motives there.
He's like, wait, the chase is
Yeah, I
over?
think this
What?
guy's a human, you know? Which is what we do a lot of times. We just say, stop. We talk to them like they're our dogs.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I've seen them
and
just
they
lock up and come to us,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you sound like their owner.
Do you guys always generally go in groups? Like more than one? Is it dangerous to go by yourself? Or I mean,
Not really. I don't. I never feel. I've got routes that are close in. I've got a cell phone. I've got this watch that is supposed to call relatives if I wreck, and the only time it ever does it's when I take the trash out for some reason. I can't figure that out. I told you I'm not a tech person.
Yeah, right.
And every time I do our garbage cans, it'll say, "I see you falling."
What kind of watch is
It's
that?
just a regular Apple Watch,
Apple
but
Watch,
you
okay.
set it for a fall.
Oh, okay.
And I've had wrecks on my bike. Apparently, I don't lay there long enough
Oh, okay.
in the woods for it to call anybody.
Yeah.
And I jump up make sure no one saw.
I mean, are wrecks pretty frequent? I mean,
If
like-
you're going to mountain bike, you're going to go down.
Okay.
Sometimes they're not bad. I've broken 2 bones. I broke a leg and I broke a collarbone, and that's going to happen. And you don't ever
were you
want.
trying to do extreme stuff, or I mean,
Not really. No, it's always near the end of the ride, and your mind is wandering, and you're thinking about going to the store and getting something when you're done. That's both wrecks happen then. That's the most dangerous time.
you kind of lose engagement.
Yep,
You do. You're
concentration's
thinking
low.
about what you're going to do next, what time it is, and so forth. And that's when both times.
Well, I got to figure that you kind of learn how to fall if you've been riding long enough, maybe. Or I mean, my dad banned me from a bike when I was in the 6th grade because I had broken 2 arms, had a concussion, broke my ribs.
Yeah.
Remember, I was terrible.
You were
on the
that
bike.
guy.
I always
Well, I'm not really
rowdy guy on that bike.
bad. Yeah.
You learn a certain intuition on a mountain bike. You know about your weight shift and so forth. You know, and not to put the front brake on when you're going around a corner and things like that, and or going straight down a hill. I have never been that skillful though. I've never, you
You don't go extraordinarily fast.
I can't ride wheelies and stuff like that, and I get by, but I don't. The older I get, the less chances I take.
Okay,
Smart.
Okay.
Yeah, but you still get a heck of a workout though. The cardio is.
So how long did it take you to get used to mountain biking? Or like when you first went out, when Thad's like, hey man, you gotta try this mountain.
You're wrecking all over the place at first because ironically, it's because you're going too slow.
Well, because you've been road cycling. or
You
whatever,
have
and
the
then you
fitness, but you don't have the skill. So that you're.
Hey guys, on behalf of the Chubbies, huge thanks to Geiger Brothers Construction. Give them a call at 740-286-0800. They've been great community supporters, and they are a friend of the Chubby program, so thank you, Geiger Brothers Construction. My God, as a parent of an 8-year-old with a family and moving through life, the best thing I ever did was download the McDonald's app. What a breeze. Order for your family. Pull up. They bring it to you. Easy. Download the app today from McDonald's.
Your intuition is to slow way down.
Yeah.
And look right in front of you and try to dodge everything.
Yeah.
Well, what you learn if you stay with it is you look about 10, 15 feet out in front of you and go faster. And the bike, you picture it like this. If you jumped off the bike and threw it forward, it would go over all that terrain on its own.
Right.
Well, as long as it had momentum. And so as long as you got
Right.
your momentum, you can make it over stuff. And you wreck a lot learning because you're going too slow and you're looking right down at your front wheel, trying to dodge every little thing. You just let the bike take care
Let the
of
bike work.
Yeah, let the bike work right over.
But man, that had to be an adjustment.
It
at
was.
first. But like, did you see it like first time? You're like, man, this is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
you got on right. We're on board.
The setting is so neat too, out in the woods like that.
Man,
you know.
I mean, that's the
Yeah.
thing. I mean,
The
what I
setting
miss,
is
man.
just beautiful, beautiful. But road cycling's got its moments too, and particularly in the state forest. It's really really pretty and so forth. There was things last Saturday. I would come around a switchback turn in that gravel, and I would look up ahead of me, and I couldn't even see sky. The road was so steep for so long.
Wow.
It was just this dark wall of gravel, and that I thought there's got to be a top to this somewhere.
wow.
And
What do you do? Just gear down and
Yes,
and
that's what I do.
and kick.
I gear
Or
down.
do you stand up? I mean,
Usually, I hardly stand at all on the bike. Usually use the gears. And, luckily I had low enough gears.
Yeah.
Just patience more than anything.
Okay.
You got to,
don't get ahead of yourself.
I watch the heart rate monitor. I look at that and I try to keep it like Saturday, I was trying to keep it like under 145, which is a good place for me to stay under.
Yeah.
At my age, that's still pretty high, but I'm used to that.
Right,
And,
right.
Your max is supposed to be 220 minus your age, they say, but I think if you've trained all your life, you have a
Yeah, sure.
higher max, I think, instead of the one.
What kind of bike do you have? The gravel one. What kind is that?
I have a Salsa Cutthroat,
Salsa.
and it's a bike that was designed for a race called the Tour Divide race, where you're self-support. On it, you can mount all kinds of gear stuff, which I don't do because I don't do that kind of stuff. But to sustain yourself for a multi-day race, but it's real lightweight. It probably only weighs like 23 pounds or so, and
And it doesn't have the front suspension.
no, it's a rigid
It's
bike.
just-
So the drop bar is like a road bike, but it's actually a mountain bike frame. It's a carbon mountain bike frame. And it's a 1x11, which means there's only one cog up front and 11 in the back, which is common.
Okay.
Very simple drivetrain.
Now, do you have is the front tire bigger generally for this?
On mountain bikes, the front tire is usually bigger.
Okay.
On this bike, no, they're both the same. They're about, I'd say it's about a 1 3/4 inch tire, probably on the gravel.
So it's wider, and then it's just it helps. It just handles that loose gravel better.
Yeah, very specific tread. It's file tooth type tread just for gravel.
Does it make it feel like you're just pedaling on cement?
Not really, because you gotta on the downhills on those gravel, you gotta watch because it's like marbles.
You go out from under.
Yeah, you really. I do. I slow way down. There's people bomb those hills and stuff. It's scary on that gravel. You go right off the edge.
Yeah.
Now our mountain bikes, 2.5, 2.6 in the front, and like 2.4 in the back. And I have one mountain bike, a hardtail, that's 2.8 front and rear. It's real wide.
Okay.
And I have one that's like 4.5, the snow one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you say you kind of retired from the snow.
I don't know. It may take it up again. When you're wrecking the snow on the trail, you're usually not going very fast.
Yeah.
But on the roads where you got to watch because they're inevitably when you're cruising along on some beautiful snow-covered road, there's ice somewhere underneath it, and you go down so fast that you don't even. I did that this winter. I did that. I hit snow at Soda Trail that had ice under it. And how in the world this 65-year-old body survived that without even a bruise or anything, I don't know. But I went down and the bike shot out one way. It was looked like a yard sale of bike stuff.
Well, and that would wake you up.
I wasn't even sore. I still don't know what happened there.
But 65
somebody's looking out for me.
65 though, and I overheard earlier you still lift a lot.
I still do. I still work out. Yeah.
And that's. Do you still you use a lot of weights? Are you getting into stretching more as you get older?
Yes and yes. I don't do a lot of like deadlift and heavy squats because of the back surgery. I do a lot of core exercises for that. I do a lot of machine upper body things. It helps to be seated and support my back. I do a 30-minute gym workout.
Gotcha.
2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
That's just one thing right after another. But that helps on the injuries too.
Yeah, now, do you
Absolutely
go to
it
the Y
does.
to do that?
Yes,
Joe,
go to the
or-
Y.
yeah,
Yes,
okay.
always have gone there. That helps on the injuries, like on the ice there. If you've bolstered yourself up a little bit, that helps. Now, most cyclists do not have a body like mine. I mean, I make 2 of the normal bicycle people.
Right.
They're usually very thin and almost no upper body because it's more efficient that way.
Right.
Yeah, I always said if I had a skinny upper body but my legs, I could be a pro cyclist. That's about the way they are.
Have you ever? I know Thad, and you are close, and he does a lot of the
CrossFit?
the CrossFit.
Oh, he's
training.
big
So
into-
have you ever tried any
Just
of that?
elements of it, not the CrossFit. He and I joke about that all the time.
Oh, okay.
It just elements of it. I'll do some kettlebell things and
Okay.
stuff like that, and maybe kind of high intensity rapid training, but not the kind of CrossFit as a sport like that.
Okay.
But I fully support functional fitness. I think. It's a
Oh
good
man,
thing.
yeah.
That's a good thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, that's something you can carry. You can do that all
You can do that your whole life.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
Sure.
doesn't cost any money. You can,
Sure.
push-ups, planks, like you said earlier,
yeah.
pull-ups.
Yeah, planks. I do them, but I hate them. I'll tell you. I always say for people whose lives seem to be passing by too quickly, they need to do planks.
because that'll slow time
It
down.
slows time down. You do a 1 minute plank.
Yeah.
And you get up from that.
Longest minute of your life.
Oh my God. Just sitting there tremoring. I never get any better at them either. That's the bad
Those
part.
seconds go slower and
Yeah,
slower.
never get any better at those things. I do them, but it's just some of the hills around here on bikes. We always say we never get any better at them.
Well, I mean,
They hurt just as bad, but we're lucky because hills are what that's what gives you fitness.
Oh my, yeah.
That's where the money's at.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, thank you very much for coming on and sharing all this.
No problem.
Is there anything
Enjoyed
we
it.
didn't cover you'd like to talk about? Or are you going to save it for the next time?
Well, I got to talk. I'm going to July 6th. I'm going to take my first flight lesson in a
You're going to be a pilot.
1930s era J3 Cub.
Good
My
for
wife
you.
wife got me that for Christmas.
That is
And I'm
awesome.
going to an old-fashioned grass strip called Red Stewart Field. And I used to fly model planes, and in one whole winter,
I remember that.
One whole winter, I built a model of this plane, and I studied it historically.
Yeah.
And I've always been obsessed with that airplane, and so I'm going to take a lesson in it. Now, I'm afraid of heights.
So you really don't want to be a pilot. You just want to do one
I don't
flight
know.
in this.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I love to fly. We fly
Yeah.
on vacation all the time. It's the most relaxing thing ever. But I have a fear of heights in like mountains and bridges. I can't do
really?
it. I can't do it. Someone else has to drive. Yeah. I can't. But I'm not that
You
way
can't
in a
even,
plane.
I'm sorry, you can't even drive over a bridge. You have to have somebody else drive across.
If I'm used to the bridge,
Oh, okay.
like the Silver Bridge at Galplis, I've done that enough. I don't like it, but I can it's done.
Every time I see
But-
that silver bridge, man,
Yeah,
I
I was alive when that thing fell down, which is probably why I'm like I am.
but I heard all the stories,
yeah.
and they're.
But if we're like, say, like we're in Florida and you'll be driving along and you see a bridge on the horizon, one of those big ones that goes over the intercoastal, I can't drive that. No,
Okay.
no, I can't drive that. I let somebody else drive over it. And the West Virginia Turnpike, I used to be able to just drive down that with one hand in a Honda Civic with bikes on the back. I can't. It's hard to even ride on that for me now.
Is that
I
right?
have vertigo. I feel a dizziness on that road. You can't do it.
so who you're getting your first lesson?
Yeah.
Do you know who's going to give it to you? Or?
I do not. I've not met the instructor.
Where is this?
It's you go down to the outlet malls and then turn left and head towards Cincinnati for about a half an hour, 20 minutes, and there's a little burg there that has a grass strip airport that specializes
goodness,
in that.
That's
and
awesome.
when I called to make the appointment the other day, it was hard to book one. There's that many people. doing
I
that.
imagine.
Yeah, there's that
Hell
many
yeah,
people.
flying's pretty expensive.
Well, and
People
I
gotta
mean,
look at their
in
license.
one of those planes, man.
Yeah, this
that
is
gonna
stick and
be-
rudder. There's no
Yeah.
steering wheel. It's a stick and a rudder, and it's a tail dragger, so that it's got two main wheels up front, and then a little tiny tail wheel with the plane
And
sits.
two cockpits.
No, tandem. One,
Yep. One in the front, one in the
The
back.
pilot sits in the back and the passenger sits in the front.
Yeah.
And it's got a 65 horsepower Continental engine that you start by hand.
Yeah.
Somebody has to get out and flip the prop. It's as simple as aviation goes.
Biplane?
No, this is a monoplane, a yellow Piper Cub.
Okay.
They made thousands of them, and then when World War II came along, they made them green, and they used them for observation planes.
Okay.
And they called them L-19s. And then when the war was over, there was all these trained pilots and all these Cubs now, and they distributed, and that was like the future. Everybody was going to fly a plane in their driveway.
Oh man!
And so that this field is left over from when they just used grass down there. Yeah.
So this is it, July 6th. This is your
6th.
first. This is the cool. Now, do you have to have any kind of pre-type? Like you got to show this pilot, hey man, I've done this, and this.
They have a thing called a sport license now. They've made it actually easier to be a pilot, and you get so many hours like that, dual time, and then finally you solo. And you do pass, a modest physical, and then you can get your sport license. And you have to fly those lightweight kind of planes. You can have one passenger, daylight, visual flying reference only. No instrument. You can't go up and fly in the clouds or bad weather or anything.
And how high are you allowed to take one of these?
I don't know. The plane itself is somewhat limited. It's open windows. There's no oxygen, not pressurized.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
People fly Cubs very low.
Okay.
They hedge hop in them. They
just
fly
above the trees.
You're maybe 900 feet, 1,000 feet flying around in a Cub. Just summer day like that, with a stick and rudder. And
how long is the flight?
You do it in hour segments. So I've got like 2 hours worth of gift there.
Wow, that'd be fun.
I'd love to own one someday.
Oh yeah,
They're
that'd be
expensive to own a plane, with the hangar fees and the annuals.
Oh yeah,
you can rent theirs though, so that's my plan. To get the license, just go down and rent theirs.
Yeah, man, that's cool.
So that's coming up. Then,
well, you're going to have to come back and tell us.
I will.
That's going to be
Guy with vertigo takes a flight lesson.
Takes a flight lesson. That's awesome. I can't wait to hear that story.
That's going to be
I'll
fantastic.
come back and tell.
All right, there's the teaser for the next Joe Finch
there it is.
Yeah. Well, Joe, thank you for your time.
All right,
Matt, thank you for your time, buddy.
Honored and humbled. It was awesome. I enjoyed it.
We had a great time. Guys, check us out. Like and subscribe. Chubby Guys Podcast. Check out our merch. It's pretty cool. Take care. We'll see you soon.
The swimsuit is awesome.
Oh, man.
Those trunks, man.
Yeah, ocean approved. Yeah, they're there. Take care, guys.
See ya.